As someone who has always had an insatiable curiosity for the paranormal, I found myself drawn to the Iverson Inn, a place etched with a history as dark as the night skies above it. The inn, standing solemnly in a remote corner of New England, was a haven for those seeking encounters beyond the ordinary. Its imposing Gothic architecture and the tales of unexplainable occurrences that seeped through its walls like fog had captured my imagination. My interest in the supernatural wasn't just a fleeting hobby. It was a part of me, an unquenchable thirst to understand the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of our understanding. So, when the opportunity to stay at Iverson Inn presented itself, I didn't hesitate. I packed my bags with a mix of excitement and apprehension, ready to delve into the unknown. The drive to the inn was a journey through time. As modernity faded into the rearview mirror, the landscape transformed, taking on a quality that seemed untouched by the passing centuries. When the ivy-covered facade of the Iverson Inn came into view, a shiver ran down my spine. It was as if the building itself was aware of my arrival, its ancient windows like eyes watching my approach. Stepping into the inn was like stepping into another era. The air was thick with the scent of old wood and a hint of something else, something inexplicable. The interior was a labyrinth of shadowy hallways and creaky staircases, each corner whispering secrets of the past. The owner, a stoic figure with eyes that hinted at a depth of stories untold, handed me the key to my room, number 7, infamous among thrill seekers for its paranormal activity. As I settled into my room, the fading light casting long shadows on the antique furnishings, I felt a thrilling sense of anticipation. Tonight, I thought, might be the night I come face to face with the inhabitants of the unseen world, the invisible dwellers of Iverson Inn. The first night at Iverson Inn was an eerie symphony of creaks and whispers, but it was the sound of footsteps in the hallway that jolted me awake. The clock's neon digits glowed to 03 a.m. in the pitch-dark room. The rhythmic steps were heavy, deliberate, and they seemed to stop right outside my door. My heart raced as I quietly slipped out of bed, tiptoed to the door, and pressed my ear against the cool wood. But as suddenly as they had come, the footsteps ceased, leaving behind a suffocating silence. With a mix of fear and determination, I cracked open the door. The hallway was deserted, lit only by the flickering light of an old chandelier. I stepped out, the floorboards groaning under my weight. A chill ran down my spine, not from the cold, but from the sense of unseen eyes watching me. I walked down the corridor, peering into the shadows, but found no one. The inn, it seemed, was playing tricks on me, or was it? The next morning at breakfast, the inn's dining room was abuzz with guests sharing stories over steaming cups of coffee and freshly baked pastries. I joined a table where a lively discussion was underway about the inn's haunted history. An elderly couple spoke of a tragic event from the late 1800s, where the original owner's daughter vanished mysteriously, her fate never uncovered. A middle-aged man chimed in with his experience of seeing ghostly figures in the garden at dawn. Each tale added layers to the inn's mystique. The guests, a mix of skeptics and believers, were united in their fascination with Iverson Inn's spectral residents. I listened, captivated, my mind racing with possibilities. The stories I heard were not just folklore, they were pieces of a puzzle, each adding to the narrative of the inn's enigmatic past. And I, in room number 7, seemed to have become a part of that narrative. The next night brought a chilling escalation to my experience at Iverson Inn. As I lay in bed, the shadows cast by the moonlight seemed to dance along the walls of my room. It was then that I noticed it, a silhouette, distinct yet ethereal, standing by the window. My breath caught in my throat. The figure appeared to be looking out, lost in a moment, forever gone. I reached for the lamp, my hand trembling, but as the light filled the room, the figure dissolved into the night. I lay awake for hours after, my mind racing. The feeling of being watched had not dissipated. If anything, it had grown stronger. I couldn't shake the image of the ghostly figure from my mind. It was a presence that felt all too real, a whisper from the past calling out to me. Determined to unravel the mystery of Iverson Inn, I decided to delve into its history. The next morning, after a restless night, I visited the local library. The librarian, a woman who seemed to know every tale and legend of the town, provided me with old newspapers and records related to the inn. The stories I unearthed were a tapestry of tragedy and mystery. The disappearance of the owner's daughter was just the beginning. There were accounts of unexplained incidents over the years. Guests who left in the middle of the night, never to return. But it was a diary entry from a former maid of the inn that caught my attention. She wrote of whispers in the halls, of shadows that moved on their own, and a feeling of sorrow that permeated the very walls of the inn. As the first pieced together the information, a picture began to form a story of loss, longing, and a lingering presence bound to the inn. It wasn't just the structure of the building that held its history, it was as if the very air within its walls was imprinted with the emotions of those who had passed through it. And now I was a part of that history, living my own chapter in the enigmatic saga of Iverson Inn. My final night at Iverson Inn was a journey into the heart of its hidden past. The research at the library had led me to a startling revelation. The inn's history was marred by a series of tragic events, each intertwined with the family that had originally owned it. The vanishing of the daughter was just one piece of a larger, more tragic puzzle. It seemed the family was plagued by misfortune, and their despair had seeped into the very foundation of the inn. As night fell, I sat in my room, pondering over the diary entries, newspaper clippings, and stories I had gathered. It was then that I heard the footsteps again, this time accompanied by a faint, melancholic melody. Driven by a newfound understanding, I followed the sounds to the attic. There, in the dim light, I found an old music box, its tune echoing the melody I had heard. The music box, I realized, belonged to the vanished daughter. The ghostly figure by my window, the melancholic melody, the feeling of being watched had all led back to her. She was the lingering presence in the inn, forever roaming its halls, forever yearning for a peace that eluded her in life. This discovery brought a profound sense of closure, not only to the mystery of the Iverson Inn, but also to the restless spirit that dwelled within. I felt a strange connection to her, a shared understanding of longing and the search for meaning. As I left the Iverson Inn the next morning, the sun casting a soft glow over its aging facade, I felt a mix of emotions. There was relief, yes, but also a deep sense of contemplation. My encounter with the supernatural at Iverson Inn was more than just a brush with the unknown. It was a reminder of the past's enduring impact on the present, of the stories and spirits that linger in forgotten corners of the world. Driving away, I looked back at the inn, its presence now more familiar than foreboding. I had come seeking the paranormal, and in doing so, I had uncovered a story of loss and love that transcended time. Iverson Inn, with all its shadows and secrets, had revealed to me a profound truth, that sometimes the ghosts we chase are not just spirits, but echoes of our own search for understanding in a world shrouded in mystery.